In 2011, a reporter from Bloomberg is sitting across Elon Musk, the man who had just taken Tesla public a year before. The reporter asks a simple question: "What do you think of BYD, the Chinese car maker?" Elon doesn't just answer, he bursts out laughing. He literally can't stop himself. "Have you seen their car?" he asks between chuckles. "I don't think they have a great product." Fast forward to 2024, 2025. The laughter has stopped. It's been replaced by a cold, hard reality. BYD, the company that Elon mocked, has just overtaken Tesla in total EV production. They aren't just a competitor anymore. They are the apex predator of the automotive world. Today, we're opening the forensic file on BYD. We're going to show you how a chemist with a $300,000 loan built a battery empire that forced the US government to raise tariffs to 100%. We're going to look at the blade battery that won't explode, the SUV that can literally float like a boat, and the secret shipping fleet that is currently carrying thousands of cars across the ocean to your doorstep. If you think you know the EV market, think again. This is the story of the company that finally made Elon Musk stop laughing. To understand BYD, you have to understand the man at the center of it all, Wang Chuanfu. Wang wasn't a car guy. He wasn't even a business guy originally. He was a chemist, a researcher at a government institute in Beijing specializing in metallurgy. In 1995, he noticed something. The world was going crazy for mobile phones. Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, they all needed batteries. And those batteries were expensive because they were all made in Japan. Wang quit his stable government job, borrowed $300,000 from his cousin, and moved to a tiny, humid workshop in Shenzhen. He called his new company BYD, Build Your Dreams. But in the early days, the dream was just to survive. He couldn't afford the multi-million-dollar robotic assembly lines that the Japanese used, so he did something radical. He deconstructed the robots. He figured out how to replace expensive machines with human labor, breaking down complex tasks into hundreds of tiny, simple steps. It was a human assembly line. It worked. Within a few years, BYD was the largest supplier of batteries for the Razr phone, for Apple, for everyone. They were the silent giants inside your pocket. But then, in 2003, Wang made a move that confused everyone. He bought a failing, state-owned car company called Sichuan Auto. His investors were furious. The stock price dropped 20% in a single day. They said, "You're a battery company. Why are you buying a junk car factory?" Wang's answer was simple. A car is just a big battery on wheels. He didn't care about the engines. He didn't care about the transmissions. He just wanted the license to manufacture vehicles. He knew decades before anyone else that the internal combustion engine was a dead man walking. By 2008, BYD released the F3DM. It was the world's first mass-produced plug-in hybrid. It beat General Motors' Chevy Volt to the market by 2 full years. That same year, a man named Warren Buffett noticed. Or rather, his partner, Charlie Munger, noticed. Munger told Buffett, "You have to invest in this guy Wang. He's a combination of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch. He can solve technical problems like Edison, and he can execute like Welch." Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, bought 10% of BYD for $230 million. When the Oracle of Omaha puts his name on a Chinese battery company, the world starts paying attention. But Elon Musk was still laughing. Why? Because the early BYD cars were, let's be honest, terrible. They were ugly. They were built poorly. They looked like cheap knockoffs of Toyotas. But Wang didn't care about the look. He was playing the long game. He was building a fortress of vertical integration.
Most car companies are assemblers. Ford buys tires from Michelin, seats from Lear, and batteries from LG. They just put the pieces together. BYD is different. They are a maker. They make their own batteries. They make their own electric motors. They make their own semiconductors. They even make their own tires and seats. Aside from the windshield and the tires, almost every single part of a BYD car is made in a BYD factory. This is why they are terrifying. They don't have to pay a markup to suppliers. They are the supplier. And their crowning achievement, the thing that makes Tesla engineers lose sleep, is the blade battery. Let's talk about the nail test. Most EV batteries use a chemistry called NMC, nickel, manganese, cobalt. It's powerful, but it's volatile. If you drive a nail through an NMC battery, it explodes. It becomes a 500-degree blowtorch that you cannot put out. BYD doubled down on LFP, lithium iron phosphate. It was an older, cheaper chemistry that most Western companies ignored. They said it was too heavy. But Wang's team of 100,000 engineers reinvented the shape of the battery. Instead of little cylinders, they made them long, thin, like sword blades. These blades act as structural beams for the car's chassis. They save space, and most importantly, they are safe. In the famous nail penetration test, the blade battery didn't smoke. It didn't fire. The surface temperature stayed at a cool 60 degrees Celsius. This is why Tesla, yes, Tesla, is now a BYD customer. If you buy a Model Y in Germany today, there's a good chance it is powered by a BYD blade battery. Imagine that. The company Elon laughed at is now his most vital supplier. We're halfway through the investigation, and we're about to get to the YangWang U8, the SUV that can literally walk sideways. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the global tech war, you need to be part of this community. Hit that subscribe button and the like button right now. Let's get to the floating SUV. If you think BYD is just about cheap hatchbacks, you haven't seen the YangWang. The YangWang U8 is a $150,000 beast. It has 4 independent electric motors, one for each wheel. This allows the car to do things that physics shouldn't allow. It can do a tank turn, spinning 360 degrees on the spot like a military vehicle. But the real showstopper? Emergency floating. If you accidentally drive into a flood or a lake, the U8 detects the water. It automatically seals the air intakes, raises the suspension, and starts spinning its wheels to paddle through the water. It can stay afloat for 30 minutes. It's a flex. It's BYD telling the world, we aren't just copying you anymore. We are doing things you can't even dream of. But while the U8 is the glamour, the BYD Seagull is the killer. The Seagull is a compact electric car that sells for around $10,000 in China. $10,000. It's not a golf cart. It has a touchscreen, 6 airbags, and 200 miles of range. This car is the reason the US government recently slapped a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs. Why? Because if the Seagull hits American shores, every Ford, every Chevy, and every entry-level Tesla becomes overnight obsolete. You cannot compete with a $10,000 car when your batteries alone cost $7,000. And BYD isn't waiting for permission to export. They built their own Navy. In 2024, a massive ship called the Explorer No. 1 left China. It's a RoRo, a roll-on, roll-off carrier, owned by BYD. It can carry 7,000 cars in a single trip. They have 7 more of these ships being built. They aren't just building cars, they're building the Silk Road to deliver them. So, where does this leave Elon Musk? Recently, Elon's tone has changed. He's no longer laughing. He said if there are no trade barriers, they will pretty much demolish most other car companies in the world. He's right. BYD has the scale, the tech, and the vertical integration that Western brands gave up decades ago. This isn't just a car story, it's a supply chain story. It's a story about what happens when a country decides to own the future from the dirt in the ground to the ship in the harbor. The next time you see an EV on the road, look at the badge. It might not say BYD yet, but look closer. The blade might already be inside. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. The era of cheap Chinese cars is over. The era of better Chinese cars has begun. Let us know in the comments, would you buy a $10,000 Seagull if it came to your country, or is the kill switch too much of a risk?